MKBHD sent a tweet, and then there were cries in the Twitter streets. Everyone, Barry Johnson of Engineer Reacts. Today we discuss the January update for the Pixel 6 series devices. Time to react. All right, so first thing I want to discuss is Marques Brownlee actually sent a tweet out that basically said to the effect that he is no longer using the Pixel. He took out his SIM, that it's gotten buggy over time, and that he no longer recommends the device at the price point of $900. That sent Twitter ablaze. There were a lot of fans, according to him on his podcast, that said things like, "We told you to come back to Apple," and he clearly said he wasn't going back to Apple, and he talks about that in his podcast. But I wanted to kind of dive into what problems that he was experiencing. So the first problem that he was experiencing that I'll demonstrate here is he uses his device, he pulls it out, and then he double taps the power button to bring up the camera. And for him, he said that he noticed that over time that he thought he was starting to detect some lag. And I'll just, again, here's me demonstrating this, but I will say this. I think what happened with Marques in this particular portion is he started to notice that the GN1 sensor, which Google, please listen, do not get rid of that sensor. Again, top 1 or 2 sensors on the planet right now and capable of unbelievable photos. So we just need more time with the computational photography just to completely shut everything down, in my opinion. But what happens is when you start the app, the autofocus comes in. So if you look at the major difference between the GN1 and the GN2 sensor, it has a faster autofocus system. So, and by no means is this slow at all, but I can definitely understand where Marques was coming from. Another thing is he mentioned that the adaptive brightness act kind of weird. He said it basically acted like all pixels. So I always recommend that people don't use adaptive brightness. I've never thought it's ever been on any phone the best implementation. And I thought that was kind of what reviewers have been telling people, really not to use adaptive brightness, to turn it off, get it, just make the adjustments. But that's neither here nor there. But he did say that on his S21, he doesn't have any issues with his adaptive brightness. So that's another thing. Another thing is he said that his adaptive refresh rate, you can force the Pixel series, like the Pixel 6 Pro in his case, to 120 hertz a whole bunch all the time. Well, he uses adaptive, and he said that there's sometimes it would drop down to 90 hertz and would just stay there just a little bit longer than he expected to before it went back to 120 hertz. This has been correct completely. Also, he mentioned that he had some network connectivity issues, but his primary gripes were the adaptive refresh rate and the double tap the power button to bring the camera up. On that one, I really don't see Google being able to change. They could probably change the animation to get a little bit better. He said there's times where he would adjust it to, I think, half speed, but he's like, I shouldn't have to do that because he goes, I'm pretty sure, he goes, not sure, but I'm pretty sure that there's some lag there. But when you start the app, if you look, like if you're close to some subject, you'll see that it'll say move back to improve focus. It's because autofocus fires off right on there. So again, the GN1, although it's extremely fast, it's slower than some of the lesser quality sensors, which we do not want. So this is not to minimize what he's saying. I just wanted to bring what he was saying because a lot of people were under the impression that he trashed the device, and he didn't. He just has another device that he said he doesn't have these issues with. I also wanted to point out that one of the things that dropped, so they fixed the network connectivity issue. And I had been working with people that had serious issues because my big thing is you should not have a phone for a month and like, I'm so sick of this phone. The phone should have been gone. You should never get to that point. There are going to be issues. There are people that are still suffering with iPhones right now. You can go all over Reddit. They're mad because they can only use 4G. Well, why do you still have that iPhone? I'm sorry. I mean, this is ridiculous at this point, But hey, it's here. And I just wanted to show you that in this update, one of the things that Google snuck in there is there's the ability to do carrier aggregation. But also they made general 5G improvements. And I just wanted to show this quick video from Sneed Mobile Tech, which everybody should be subscribed to him. And the reason why I say this is this. My job, so I try not to lead with this. I am an engineer. I work with these devices differently than most people. I enjoy cell phones. But what I can tell you is this. My company makes base station emulators. I have competitors that make base station emulators. If these phones had a connectivity issue that they were unusable, it would be a CEO to CEO conversation. They have no issues. There's stuff that might happen in the field, a mismatch in firmware, a mismatch between the carrier and the handset manufacturer that can get resolved. So there's no reason to panic if that ever happens. If it happens to you where you're having an issue where your phone runs hot and all that stuff, and it's because of something that else is going on in your area, I still recommend you to get rid of that phone. No one needs to suffer while other people get it right, but it happens across the board. So this was the engineer, this was my reaction, and we're out.